Yes.
Yeah. So the
Please make it full screen, sir.
yeah, we have done it. So this I'm Krishna Bajpayee. This I'm 2010 batch from Indian Administrative Service. Presently, I'm having the charge of MD Northwestern Karnataka Road Transport Corporation, and in addition to that, I'm also in charge of Hubli Dharwad Bus Rapid Transit Company. Uh, Sir, I would like to start my presentation with a brief introduction about the Hubli Dharwad BRT project. And we have structured a presentation in a way we have one 3.5-minute video, and remaining the total out of 15 minutes allocated to us. Remaining 10 minutes we will do the presentation. So, and this Hubli Dharwad city is the second largest city in Karnataka after Bangalore, and it is go to next slide. It is the second largest city in Karnataka after Bangalore, and it is spread over around an area of 203 square kilometer. Presently, with the population around 12 lakhs. So, ma'am, sir, it's a part of the greater Dharwad district. Dharwad district itself is having population around 22 lakhs. So, this 12 lakhs population is the population of the urban area. So, this Hubli Dharwad bus rapid transit project cater to the needs of the urban commuters of the Hubli Dharwad. So the Hubli Dharwad project was implemented as a part of Sustainable Urban Transportation Project with Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, World Bank, Global Environment Fund, and United Nations Development Program as the stakeholders. The project cost, all including it was around 970 crores, and it was conceived in 2014, and then only the implementation was started. The planning and design part of the project was done by CEPT University, and it was implemented by Department of Urban Land Transport, Government of Karnataka through HDBRTS Company Limited. The company was formed especially for this project only, KRDCL and Northwestern Karnataka Road Transport Corporation. The total network length for the Hubli Dharwad bus rapid transit corridor is 22.5 meter, out of which 11.75 kilometers is the 4-lane divided dedicated BRT corridor. This kind of dedicated rapid transit 4-lane corridor is nowhere in the country, only for this project. 7.1 kilometers is a dedicated 3-lane BRT corridor, and 3.65 kilometers is a non-dedicated corridor. The trial run of the services started on 2nd of October 2018, and formal inauguration happened by, it was done by Sri Venkaiah Naidu, Honorable Vice President of India, on 2nd of February 2020. The HDBRT project has won the prestigious Award Excellence 2019 for the best urban mass transit project in India by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India. Sir and ma'am, if you kindly allow us, I would like to share the 3.5 minute video with the honorable jury members.
So now I'm going to run your video from my end, sir.
Okay. Oh,
Okay?
you got that? Yeah, that would be great. Yes, please.
The twin cities of Hubballi and Dharwad are now home to Karnataka's first bus rapid transit system. Chiguri BRT is part of the Sustainable Urban Transport Project and is funded by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of Karnataka, World Bank, and Global Environmental Fund. The total cost of the project is rupees 970.87 crores. Chiguri BRT is supporting the twin cities in reducing carbon footprint through high passenger carrying capacity and reduced congestion. This 22.5 kilometer network connects Hubballi and Dharwad with sections consisting of 4 lanes and 3 lanes exclusively for BRT buses and mixed traffic lanes for other transport vehicles. Stations in the median ensure that the speeds of buses are much higher, making it rapid transit. Safe access is provided to the stations at signalized crossings or through foot overbridges. The corridor and stations are monitored through security cameras. Smart cards, QR tickets, flap gates, passenger information display, tactile paving for visually impaired, platform sliding doors, and level boarding make the stations accessible, inclusive, commuter-friendly, and efficient. AC buses with onboard ITS make the journey very comfortable for the passengers.
Next stop is Kios.
Priority seating for seniors, women, and specially able make the system universally accessible and equitable. High quality infrastructure in the form of depots at Hubballi, Dharwad, and Hosur, terminals at CVT, and Mitra Samaj division workshops at Hubballi are part of this project. Additionally, the 32 BRT stations in the corridor ensure that commuters have ready access to BRT travel. Multimodal integrations were provided at various locations, like terminals, interchanges, and Hubballi railway station. Automated vehicle location, automated fare collection, transit management system are some of the many technologies available in the Chigri BRT system. These technologies ensure that commuters can find next bus information or recharge their smart card from their mobile phones. Adaptive Traffic Control System, or ATCS, provides priority to BRT buses, reducing the travel time by almost 35%. ATCS also reduces delays for other vehicles and ensures safe crossing of pedestrians. All the operations and data are monitored centrally through two control rooms, one for surveillance, AVL, and AFCS data, and another for monitoring the intelligence signals. Business intelligence system ensures timely and smart decisions. The green BRT concept ensured the corridor was beautiful through landscaping, and trees were planted across the Twin Cities. Come travel on Chigri BRT, the winner of the 2019's Best Urban Mass Transit Project in India, and make our Hubballi Dharwad less congested and more livable.
Thank you, sir. And now you can share your PPT from your end.
Right. Thanks for playing the video from there. So the key features of the BRTS project is the first point is the mass transport plan. So as we have already applied for in the development and sustainable environment friendly project, already the demand aggregation and the commuters demand for the next 35 years was kept in mind, and we have taken the clue and whatever is the findings from the other projects implemented to our HDBRTS project, and our project is expected to cater to the demand for the next 30 to 35 years for the commuters. The universal access have been planned, and all the transit infrastructures are constructed in a way that universal access design is there, and it ensures the seamless connectivity. The ramps, wide fare gates, the provision for the movement of wheelchairs, the tactile paving and flooring provided for the differently abled and visually challenged people. So these all considerations have been taken care for the design of the BRTS stations. The infrastructure which has been put in place for the BRTS is of very high quality and passenger friendly. And it is not only about the BRTS only, the entire ecosystem for the entire city transport has been created in such a way that it is integrated and interoperated in a smooth way. Next. Well, the intelligent transport management system, as we can see from the photograph itself. So we have introduced that automatic fare collection system, automated vehicle location system, incident management systems, the traffic control system, and the signaling, which has been designed especially for the BRTS project, is done by the CDAC, and it it is real time and based on the traffic concentration there in the corridor. Accordingly, the signal changes for the mixed traffic as well as for the BRTS. So what I have already planned out that ITMS is planned considering the development of revamping of the entire existing city transport infrastructure system. Uh, so BRTS plus the city transport, it, all including it, transportation demands of around 4.5 commuters, 4.5 lakh commuters is being taken care of per day. In comparison to like our Bangalore metro is which takes care for around 4 lakh and other similarly other transport systems. So similarly, ma'am, this multimodal integration is also there. The BRT services are integrated with city bus services, Mufassil services, regional bus services. In the railway station also, we are having our BRT station. The smart cards which we are using for the fare payment and validation, that also is integrated, and that has been issued for BRT and city bus services, and it is further planned to introduce it to one common mobility card for all other modes of transport available in the city. The environment impact assessment was done exhaustively for the project, and as a result of which this green BRT concept was initiated. Next. This slide shows the ridership data of the HDBRTs. So our project is presently with a newly implemented BRT system, and it's only 22.5 meters long compared to other systems in India, which are 45 kilometers, 50 kilometers, 60 kilometers long, and they have been started long back. But we are the second highest passenger per kilometer length we are having. The Indore is at the first number, and followed by Bhopal, Amritsar, Ahmedabad, Surat, Rajkot, Pune, and Jaipur. So we have achieved the peak of commuters of BRT system per day, which has crossed 1 lakh in the month of February, March, just before lockdown period. Next. Few benefits and unique features of this project. The buses which we are using for the transport in the project, they are fully air conditioned buses. They are highly comfortable, very convenient. The design is modified according to the convenience of the passengers, and it makes the ride very relaxed and stress free. The AC fare cost per kilometer is least compared to all other bus fares in India. The bus stations and foot over bridges are provided with the ramps for easy access. So similarly, the reserved seat provision have been made for women, senior citizens, and Divyangs. So more than 40% of seats are reserved in such way. For the wheelchair users, the dedicated area and special facilities have been provided. Already, as I have told, that the bus it has been customized the design in such a way that the bus door level is matched with the bus station platform, which makes the boarding and alighting very easy and facilitates the movement of the wheelchair also. Tactile paving and flooring is provided for stations as well as in other transit infrastructures for easy movement of visually impaired people. The information for the upcoming BRT station, the announcements, they are all are GPS based and in the real time, and they are provided in all the BRT buses. Next. For the BRT project, the safety has been taken care of by providing the 4 layers of video surveillance. The first, like dome cameras are inside the buses. They do the real-time recording and keep their data. Similarly, the 2 dome cameras at each bus station have been provided. This pan tilt zoom camera at the junction and 20 NPR cameras are the provided. This camera and the video surveillance is of very high resolution. And other than the general security of the passengers, the movement and activity happening at the junctions, it also takes care of the intruders who somehow, if they cross or they come inside the BRT lane, dedicated BRT lane. So the camera can scan that, and they can capture the nameplate, and immediately the same nameplate captured is used for sending them the notices for payment of fines and the violation they have done, and that violation is reported to transport department for those vehicles. Similarly, those cameras are being used by our intelligent traffic management system also to ensure the real-time change of signals. The adaptive traffic control system is used in all the traffic junctions, and which works on the real-time reform that I have already mentioned, that it is uniquely designed by the CDAC for the HDBRTS project only. For at each junction, the signalized pedestrian crossing is provided for safe and easy crossing, and also the same is being used for the easy access to the bus stations. Foot-over bridges are provided for commuters to cross the road at the selected stations. The automated vehicle location system is provided in all the buses, which monitors the speed of the bus, harsh braking, rash driving, and all this data regarding this, the movement of the vehicle at the entire stretch is being logged and analyzed. And if there is this kind of behavior is frequently observed in a driver, then we send them to the further training or further action, that why this kind of rash driving or harsh braking or the variations in the speed of bus is being observed in the corridor. So this all we have very one real-time intelligent monitoring system to log it and later on review all these parameters. Security guards and home guards are deployed at bus station and traffic junction to guide the passenger traffic, to check the vehicles who are coming inside the BRT corridor, and for other safety related issues. Boarding and alighting through platform screen doors provide safe access to the passengers. So all this resulted into the traffic-free dedicated lanes to BRT buses, and which reduced the travel time drastically, approximately up to 35%. So earlier, using the other modes of transport and communication, the travel time from Hubli to Dharwad, which used to take around 1 hour approximately, it has come down to 35 to 40 minutes. So the frequency of buses is less than 2 minutes, and the design of the BRT corridor itself, that we have 3 lane, 4 lanes, so we have made the provision for the overtaking lanes also. So 2 kind of services we are running, where one service where which are stopping at the selected platforms. So quickly I will run through the steps towards that have been taken for the sustainable environment. The Green BRTS initiative itself, at the time of the inception of the project, due to land acquisition and for other things, these whatever trees fell down, so compensatory forestation have been done, and over period of 5 years, 25,400 samplings have been planted in government offices, schools, colleges, and other eco parks. The initiative to map the plantation under Green BRTS was started in June 2016 itself by DELT and HDBRTS company. And this mapping technique provided an online public platform for the knowing of the status of the plantations. As a part of the Green BRTS initiative, we are also taking the development of one Unka Lake also, and one around 16-acre eco park is also being developed, which is abutting over the BRT corridor. So it will, as well as for the environmental benefit, and it will also give a nice backdrop view to our existing BRT corridor. Other than that, the design of corridor itself have provided for the footpath, which is totally dedicated for the pedestrian transport. The same way, the special lane has been provided for the cyclist and other non-motorized transport. So later on in the next phase, we are looking to integrate with the our existing BRTS, the cyclist and other modes of transport. And this is the brief chart which shows, though it's just 2 years for the project, but we can see that there is a reduction from the 2017 to 2019 in the particulate matters as well as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide content. The BRT buses, they are all BS4 compliant buses, and they meet UBS2 specifications. And it's around private vehicles. Earlier, private vehicles users, many users have shifted to the BRTS also. So there is a visible reduction in the carbon emission through private vehicles as the commuters are moving to the BRT every day. this slide shows the few challenges faced during the implementation. The project was very ambitious project, and it in the Hubli Dharwad city area itself, this land acquisition, we have issues regarding fixation of consent rates, the objection from property owners, court cases, the coordination with other stakeholders was there, like our electricity supply company, municipal corporation, BSNL. This issues with civil works and ITS works were there. The property accessibility issues because of the hilly terrain and undulated terrain along the corridor. So accessibility issues were there, and the resistance of the local people were there initially at the implementation time of the project. So few learnings from the project that as a HDBRTS company, which we have got from the project, that entire site we should be having our holding before commencement of civil works. Now what is required, that utility planning and road infrastructure detailed planning should be done before the start of the project itself. It should not go with the project. At the DPR stage itself, the utility and other infrastructure planning should be done. ITS consultant should be placed in the similar time frame with the infrastructure design consultant to accommodate the requirements of each other. And operations is a continuous process, and commuters initially they may not be too much attracted, but later on, as the operations this gains popularity, it goes smooth. They are attracted to reliable, dependable, and convenient services. These are some future plans for our BIT project. So we have a good infrastructure facility in place now. So now next thing is how to make this transport to give the last mile connectivity, because few options are still there already. For the cyclists, we are creating a separate lane. In the same way, still the Ola and Uber have not entered into the space of Hubli and Dharwad. So we have enough option if we can run our own BRTS taxi also to give the last mile connectivity. It may be the private taxi or the pool taxi option. Viability gap funding, because there is some difference in the earning which we are having and our expenditure for the BRTS. So that viability gap funding, we have to explore the option how to bridge that viability gap through advertising and other mediums. The BRTS is still having a lot of properties and transit infrastructure that is not put into correct use. So if we commercialize that, we'll have more revenue. The clean energy option is also available because all the stations having a rooftop, so solar panels can be put on that. So it can become the self-sustainable project from the energy point of view for the requirement of the stations and the corridor. Now the discussions are going on to introduce the electrical buses, EV vehicles for our HDBRT corridor. Already the discussions are at the advanced level under FAME 2 schemes of the Government of India. So very soon we'll be taking the decision to how to introduce the electric vehicle. In the same way, the next plan is already with the help of SEPT University, we have done the detailed study regarding how to provide the feeder services for the HDBRT corridor, so that more and more people who are from the other part of the city, they can also can be seamlessly connected to the BRT corridor through the feeder services. Feeder services will be in the same mode like the BRT existing services are there. The same automatic fare collection, the convenience of the passenger, the boarding and alighting, all things will be taken care of. So we have decided some 8 to 10 routes along the corridor. It will also help in increasing the ridership of the HDBRT. All the parallel services like few NWK, TCS buses, one private operator is having a permit here to run parallel to the BRT corridor. The discussions are at the higher level with the government to stop those permits so that all the ridership can come to the BRT, which will help us increasing then more number in future. So these are few of the photographs of before and after of the project. One is for BRT station at SDM Medical College. This is at C Nagar Junction. After the completion
Please conclude, sir.
Infrastructure, how it has come. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I have got a couple of questions. See,
Yes.
First of all, you have done a good job in making easy transport available to people in that area. That is good. But BRT is not yours is not a first BRT project. There has been many successive projects like Ahmedabad, Bhopal. I've seen them, they are running quite well. So what is different or better you have done, because yours is a much more recent project. So what is that extra thing you have done to improve upon the learning which you have got yourself? They also must have got some learnings. Have you taken into cognizance the learnings other BRT implementation had while you did that? Because
Yes,
one question I would say that now you are proposing, when was your BRT completed?
ma'am, the BIT completed last year itself, 2018.
2018. So
2018 was the inauguration by Honorable Vice President. And
okay, so now the question is, now you are thinking of electrical buses, changing them. So this changing, it's only a 1.5 year project, almost,
right.
right? So electrical vehicle for green transportation, that is something which has been in planned for a long time. Why did it take you so long to go for this? You could have planned it in your proposal also, maybe in phase wise, but when you started not so far back, why did you not think of electrical vehicles? Number one. Number two is, you said that lot of private vehicles are coming down. Number of private vehicles are coming down because of good transport facility. Have you estimated the percentage of reduction in the traffic because of BRT? That is second question. And third question is that what did you do exactly to, I mean, was there any cost overrun, time overrun in your project implementation? These are the three questions I would like you to answer.
Yes, ma'am. So I will begin with the introduction of the electrical vehicle. So, ma'am, actually, our BRT, it was kept in mind that whatever good infrastructure and the high-level infrastructure and the services we'll be creating, we will not increase fare part. So that was the control thing, because already whatever existing services were there, the commuter, we keep the fare up to that level or slightly higher than that, so that we can keep it attractive for the existing commuters. That would be the smooth switching. So for that, ma'am, electrical vehicle it is very costly. Just right now, the FAME 2 negotiations are going on. Still, they are quoting around operational cost of rupees 70 to 75 per kilometer. Our operational cost is rupees 60 per kilometer. So still that 15 gap is there. And if I am ready to introduce the premier services anytime if the government allows us to charge the extra fare. So whatever viability gap would be there, that would be a loss which we have to bridge and from another sources. Those sources have not been discovered till now. Our BRT, ma'am, the corridor itself length is not much. It's around 22.5 kilometer at the one side. For the round trip, it comes around 45 kilometer. BRTS is still in the expansion phase, but we all are very keen to introduce the electrical vehicle more than anything else, to set an example from the from the company in the transport perspective, that electrical vehicles, the time is now to introduce the electrical vehicles and they can be run smoothly. So we are under negotiation. If the pricing will come to our point, they will be introduced. Second thing, ma'am, initially the ridership, we have got very high quality Volvo buses. So at that time, our projected requirement was around some 80,000 to 90,000 passengers. But as the project, the popularity gained and the project also it became attractive. So now we can see that we have crossed the ridership of 1,05,000 just before COVID. So now we are in a state that see that okay, our project will become is becoming popular and we need more buses. So it will be a mixed thing. The conventional diesel operated AC buses will be there, and plus this electrical buses, 50 extra buses which we implant, that will be in addition to those buses in the same corridor.
Just
So,
1 minute, just 1 minute. You are talking about green corridor and all this and still running on diesel buses. Are they not contradictory?
ma'am, it was planned in the JNURM itself. That time only it was planned.
No, that's all right. Planning is all right, but see, your green, the concept of greenness goes, goes bust when the moment you start using diesel buses in Delhi with our pollution level so high, and we are running CNG buses for I think more than 10 years. Surinder ji, 10 साल से पहले से चल रहा है ना शीला दीक्षित के टाइम से?
10 साल से ज्यादा हो गए CNG बसेस चल रहे हैं.
हाँ, बहुत ज्यादा टाइम हो गया. So how come you have planned for a diesel bus when you are talking about green corridor and this age?
There's no much difference in Ma'am, this for the
Anyway, that has been planned. You can't do nothing about it, but I mean, that's my concern. The emission will definitely be there with diesel buses.
and with the CNG also, ma'am, it is same level. It has been the study is there that the emission CNG हो या diesel almost same level रहता है.
No, that is not true, because study says the CNG has cut down the pollution is there in Delhi for other reasons, but diesel pollution and CNG pollution are not same level.
Ma'am, but for the with the quality of vehicle which we have introduced, like their Volvo UD buses, they are high quality buses, highly efficient buses. So in this case,
I don't know. Anyway, this is something you have done, so you better change fast.
But the point you have given, I will think over it, because that was initially at the time itself, it was taken a decision in 2014 itself to go with this Volvo UD buses.
But now that 6 years have passed, you have to think. So maybe the you said running of electrical vehicle cost per kilometer is higher, but then the gain you will be doing in terms of pollution control and other things will be much better. So that probably will upset your cost. So maybe you have to go fast on this transition.
Yeah, right, ma'am. Not only, ma'am, pollution, the other things also is that a detailed study we have done. There is the projection that diesel cost, which is around 80 today, it may reach up to 160, 170 also.
Actually, diesel cost is going very high. Last 2 years, the diesel cost has almost doubled, or maybe a little more than double. So yeah, you have to do again cost calculation.
Come down. So all these projections, then carbon credit system with the new regime in the US may be reintroduced again. So, but this is a collective decision which has to be taken by the government.
I understand the government functioning is not as easy as you and me would expect.
Right. So only thing is we are trying to.
Okay, Surinder Singh जी, आप देख लीजिए, मेरा तो हो गया.
सर मेरे को एक चीज बताएं कि which is the best thing in your project जो आपको अवार्ड के लिए हम लोग
मैम. यस सर, मैं बताता हूँ. एक जो अभी जो मैम ने कहा था कि आपने जो इतने पिछले प्रोजेक्ट हुए एंड दिस इज अ न्यू प्रोजेक्ट, तो उसमें क्या लर्निंग है? हम लोगों ने कुछ जो जैसे जो कुछ सक्सेसफुल प्रोजेक्ट हुए आपके, जैसे बोगोटा का कोलंबिया का नंबर 1 पे आता है, गोंगझोउ चाइना का नंबर 2 पे आता है, और ये ब्राजील का रहता है. और हम लोगों ने कुछ फेल्ड प्रोजेक्ट देखे, जैसे दिल्ली का BRTS था, वो फेल हो गया. उसमें सर ये हुआ कि ये हमको सिर्फ BRT का मतलब ये नहीं कि एक लेन बना दिया और काम खत्म. हमको पूरा एंड टू एंड और पूरा एक इकोसिस्टम एक क्रिएट करना है जो एक आदमी को पूरी तरह से मोटिवेट कर दे कि नहीं, मेरे को पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट यूज करना है, पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट मेरी प्राइवेट कार से फार बेटर होगा. इसलिए जो हम लोगों ने जो 1000 करोड़ स्पेंड किया, 1000 करोड़ में केवल लेन पार्ट में हमारा 300 से 350 करोड़ है. हमने अपने हुबली का रीजनल बस टर्मिनल डेवलप किया, क्योंकि बस से उतरते ही उसके सामने BRTS की बसेस सजी हुई खड़ी मिलनी चाहिए उसको. इसके लिए ये किया. स्मार्ट सिटी से भी हमने इसमें कंट्रीब्यूशन लिया. इसी तरह धारवाड़ का भी हम लोगों ने टर्मिनल डेवलप किया. उसके बाद ये पूरी लेन में जो हम लोगों ने फेयर कलेक्शन इंट्रोड्यूस किया, पास इंट्रोड्यूस किया विद्यार्थियों के लिए, डिसेबल्ड पीपल के, ओल्ड पीपल के लिए पास. और अभी हम लोग ये अपना जो फोन पे और उनको भी ये ला रहे हैं. इस तरह के इंटीग्रेशन ने लोगों को काफी कन्वीनियंस दिया. थर्ड राउंड में हम लोग उनके लिए ये और भी, जैसे ये टैक्सी की बात हो रही है, साइकिल के लिए नॉन मोटराइज ट्रांसपोर्ट व्हीकल की बात हो रही है, तो वो भी इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं. तो लोगों में ये फीलिंग आ गई कि ये बेहतर है, ये ज्यादा कन्वीनियंट है. और चार्ज कोई नहीं बढ़ाया, जो रेगुलर था. रिस्क अभी तक गवर्नमेंट ने, सॉरी, जो लॉस पार्ट था वो हम लोग बियर कर रहे हैं. उसमें जिम्मेदारी हम लोग को एक्सप्लोर करना है कि जो हम लोगों का लॉस हो रहा है उसको दूसरे किन माध्यमों से ब्रिज किया जाए. तो ये कुछ चीजें थी जो अट्रैक्टिव बनाया BRTS ने यहाँ हुबली धारवाड़ के लिए.
आप मेरे को एक चीज बताएं, जैसे आपके जो बस से अगर मैं उस आपकी फैसिलिटी को अवेल करता हूं और मेरा घर वहां से 5 किलोमीटर दूर है या 2 किलोमीटर दूर है, तो वो लास्ट कनेक्टिविटी कैसे इंश्योर करते हैं आप?
मैम अभी ये है, जैसे मेरी बस हुबली से धारवाड़ से हुबली जाती है. हुबली पे जहाँ पे आपको करेगी वहीं पे हमारी सिटी बस भी आपको मिल जाएगी. सिटी बस अवेलेबल रहेगी. सिटी बसेस को भी हम लोग अच्छी क्वालिटी के, जो BRTS में जिस स्तर की बस यूज की हैं उसी स्तर की बसेस हम लोग सिटी ट्रांसपोर्ट के लिए भी यूज करने के लिए प्लान कर रहे हैं. हमारे पास फंड है और उसको हम लोग फीडर सर्विस देंगे. उसके लिए जो स्टडी करनी थी, कुछ 8 to 10 फीडर रूट्स जो BRTS के अलावा पूरी सिटी को कवर करेंगे, वो स्टडी भी हो चुकी है. उसमें हम लोग डेडिकेटेड फीडर इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे. वो फीडर ऐसा होने वाला है कि वो अपने घर से निकले, हम फीडर बस पे ही बैठ गए, वहीं पे हमने अपना टैप कर दिया कार्ड।
Okay.
उसके बाद हम बीआरटी के पेमेंट एरिया में उतर जाएंगे, बीआरटी की अगली बस पे बैठ जाएंगे, हमको जैसे जिस धारवाड़ में उतरना है वहां पे उतर के नेक्स्ट टैप करेंगे। तो
Okay.
उस तरह का सीमलेस इंटीग्रेशन है उनका
वेरी
plan।
गुड। अच्छा, लास्ट क्वेश्चन, कोरोना के कारण अभी दिल्ली के अंदर में जो बसेस हैं वो शायद 15 या 20 पैसेंजर से ज्यादा नहीं ले सकती हैं, क्योंकि एक डबल सीट पे सिर्फ एक ही आदमी बैठेगा, तो उससे उसके कमर्शियल एस्पेक्ट्स को असर पड़ता है।
जी
तो आप इस बारे में क्या कहना चाहते हैं कि हाउ यू आर टेकिंग दिस?
सर, कमर्शियल एस्पेक्ट्स मेरा ये स्पेशली अप्रैल और मई में ये तो कंप्लीट लॉकडाउन हो गया था। तो अप्रैल में जून में NWKRTC और BRTS दोनों पे बहुत भारी असर पड़ा, हम लोगों को रेवेन्यू कम्प्लीटली जीरो हो गया। उसके बाद कुछ परसेंटेज हाफ के साथ कहा गया। अभी अक्टूबर से कर्नाटका गवर्नमेंट ने अलाउ कर दिया है कि यू कैन रन द बसेस टू फुल कैपेसिटी। तो वो चीज़ अभी हम लोगों पे उस मामले में थोड़ी राहत है कि हम लोग जितने पैसेंजर लेना चाहे ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि सरकार ने ही अलाउ कर दिया है। तो हाँ, तो राइडरशिप हमारी अभी इंक्रीज हो रही है।
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच, गुड प्रोजेक्ट।
थैंक यू।
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, our jury. Now I would request to Gundur Nagar Panchayat, Miss Sandhya Rani, project in response to COVID. Now I'm going to share a screen. You can represent yourself, ma'am. Okay.